We begin with some breaking news out of the Middle East this morning, where Hamas is saying that they're agreeing to release living American-Israeli hostage Edan Alexander, as well as the bodies of 4 other deceased hostages. I want to get right to CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio, who's in Tel Aviv with the late-breaking details. So, Ramy, what can you tell us?
Vlad, good to see you. Yeah, and a reminder that Edan Alexander is believed to be the last living American hostage that Hamas is holding. He's 21, from New Jersey, and joined the Israeli military as a dual citizen. As for the remains of the 4 dead hostages that Hamas says that it could release, they're referred to by Hamas as having dual citizenship as well, but their identities so far haven't been made public. And Hamas is saying that all this is in response to a proposal from mediators yesterday to restart negotiations. They said that they responded positively and that they want to hammer out an agreement looking ahead to a second phase to end this war. Now, in that statement, they haven't given any demands, but we might expect they'll ask for the release of more Palestinians held in Israeli prisons. So far, about 2,000 had been released in the first phase. Also, the resumption of aid into Gaza. We're now in day 14 of aid and medical supplies not going into the Strip, and possibly, just possibly, Vlad, holding Israel to withdrawing from Gaza, which was in the original framework.
So, Ramy, does this mark a potential breakthrough in talks to continue with that ceasefire, which is what most people are hoping can happen, just as long as all the hostages eventually come home?
Yeah, I think you have to look at it from the different sides here. If you look at it from Hamas's point of view, it actually might appear that way from what they've just said, from that statement. But Israel and Hamas might actually be talking about 2 different proposals, or at least maybe variations in proposals. That's because the office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu here said that Israel has accepted a proposal. That proposal is from Steve Witkoff, and that calls for the release of 5 living hostages, 9 dead hostages, and then a 50-day extension of that ceasefire. But Hamas just may be agreeing to a different proposal from Adam Buehler, and that's Trump's hostage envoy. He met directly with Hamas last week, and they specifically talked about first releasing the Americans, then releasing the other Israeli hostages later on. And an Israeli official just told CBS News in the past few minutes that Hamas is trying to, in his words, sabotage talks by focusing solely on the Americans. We might get more clarity tomorrow night. That's when Netanyahu and his ministers are supposed to meet to go over the report from the negotiating team from Doha, and we're told they're going to be flying back here tonight.
All right, Ramy, before you go, let me ask you about what the Associated Press is reporting, which is that the United States and Israel have been in contact with officials from East Africa. Doesn't specify what East African country, but about possible locations to resettle Palestinians from Gaza. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, CBS News has actually reached out to the Prime Minister's office here, along with the Foreign Minister's office. Both have told us they have nothing to say about that report coming from the Associated Press. But out of those 3 countries, they have been named. Sudan reportedly confirmed that the U.S. has reached out. And Sudanese officials, they have reportedly said that they don't want anyone from Gaza. They've said no. Sudan does have diplomatic ties with Israel, though, normalized during Trump's first term. So there's potentially some leverage there that they're trying to do. But the country, we know, has been in nearly 2 years into a bloody civil war. Tens of thousands of people killed, millions of people have fled the country. As for the other 2 regions, one is Somalia, the other is Somaliland, which broke away from Somalia about 35 years ago. Officials there reportedly said that they are not aware of any U.S. outreach, but U.S. and Israeli officials say that they have. But going back to the point of whether Gazans would want to voluntarily at least go, Somalia is one of the poorest countries in Africa, not even the world. Somaliland, just a little bit better, but not that far behind.
Yeah, this is an absolutely bizarre story, and I can't understand, if it turns out to even be remotely true, why that would be where you would want to resettle. All right, Ramy Inocencio for us. Thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate it.